Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Kelly. Welcome to Be in the Change. I'm going to get started by reciting my inspiration. Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, which most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people will not feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Marianne Williamson. I'd like to say welcome to everybody who's watching me for the first time, and welcome back and thank you to everybody who's been on this journey with me. This has been my New Year's resolution that started in 2019. And I stated I was breaking up with fear, I was breaking up with shame, and I was breaking up with guilt, and I was going to do a video once a week, every week for an entire year. And this is the start of my third year. So thank you. Thank you to everybody who's helping me do this. I've said in previous videos, when I am accountable to other people, I do better, a lot better. So, last week on New Year's Eve, I came out with what my New Year's resolution was, and it is, I am breaking up with processed sugar. And I started on Monday, and I was scared to tell everybody out loud that I was doing this because, sugar has been a love of my life. And, I'm learning it is not my friend, and it does not want what's best for me. It is not helping me, and it's been making me sick. And a lot of times I am not willing to change until things get so physical and so obvious that you can't not notice them. And tonight I'm doing my video the day before I release it, and today is January 6th. 2021, and this is it is an emotional day, and I've been watching the news and devastated by what I'm seeing, and part of me doesn't want to watch it, and the other part of me can't stop watching it, and that powerlessness and what is going on in the world. And I know for me and in my life that pretending like stuff isn't happening has been a way that I survived. It was a way that I learned how to survive, how to pretend like stuff wasn't happening. And then eventually it gets so big that you can't not notice that it's happening. And that's what's happening in the world. And that's what's going on in life. And a lot of times everything has to get worse before it gets better. At least that has been my experience. I wanted to tell you guys how the process of Mayan starts way before the actual follow-up happens. I was talking last week in my video how I was able to get sober, but it took me 2 times. It didn't happen the first time. My process started when I was 17, and it didn't happen until I was 18, which was 4 months later, but the seed was planted. And actually, I'm so grateful that gift was given to me and I was able to receive it. It was like somebody handed me a winning lottery ticket, except for I wasn't able to cash it in when I first got it. And the second time, I knew I was so lucky to get a lottery ticket the second time, and I was able to cash it in. And it wasn't I was able to cash it in. God and other people helped me cash that ticket, and I'm still cashing it. And people have taught me not just how to cash in the ticket, but how to invest and how to spend wisely and how to live my life. And I got to tell you guys, when I quit smoking, I used to be a smoker. That was part of the ants in my pants and smoking. And, you know, I'm an addict. I'm an alcoholic. I have the disease of addiction with everything. So I was a smoker. And I remember before I quit smoking, when I quit, my process started way before I was actually able to quit. I used to say, when cigarettes are $1.50, I'm going to quit. When they're $2, I'm going to quit. When they're $2.50, I'm going to quit. When cigarettes cost $3, then I'll quit. I kept raising the bar and raising the bar and raising the bar. And then I remember one time I was like, I hate these fucking things. I threw a carton out my car window and it landed in a field because I lived out in the country. And I'm like, I hate these things. They're horrible. They're killing me. I had a cough. Every time I woke up in the morning, I was gagging, but I was still smoking. So when I threw that carton out the window, I felt like, yes, I'm so free. And the next day, I went back to the field to look for those for those cigarettes. I'm like, what was I thinking? I can't quit. I'm not ready. But my process was starting. And then I got hypnotized in a group thing with this guy, and it didn't work. But it did work because like the seed was getting planted. And then a couple years later, maybe it was a year later, I don't remember dates or times because that's been part of how I've survived, is pretending like things aren't happening and forgetting about things and disassociating from my body. So I don't remember dates. I don't remember times. It's really, I was working on a resume the other day and I can't even tell you like when I worked at jobs because I don't remember. So, but anyway, I went to this hypnotizing thing at a group and my dad was paying for it. And he's like, when do you want to go? And he gave me the dates and I'm like, oh, when's the next one? And when I went to this thing, I had a bad attitude. I didn't want to go. They were collecting our cigarettes during the break. They gave you one last chance to smoke. And you got to go outside and smoke one last cigarette, and they asked you to smoke in between fingers that you don't use. So I'm like sucking a cigarette through fingers I don't even use. My cigarette dropped on the ground. I'm picking it up. I'm sucking it in. They come around with a basket and they're collecting cigarettes and lighters. And I would not give them my cigarettes or lighter. I'm like, I'm going to need this for later because I remembered what it was like to throw that carton out the window and how I couldn't find it. So I left there with my cigarettes and my lighter. And guess what? I have not smoked since. It worked. It was my time. It was my time, and I didn't know it. So with the sugar thing, I tried last November to quit, and I lasted for 2 weeks, and I had a rheumatoid arthritis flare up. I got rid of everything out of my house, like an alcoholic would get rid of alcohol. I got rid of all the sugar, and after my rheumatoid arthritis, little by little, I started slowly bringing it back in. So, I did it again. I got rid of all my stuff the other day. I donated to the food pantry. I'm like, I am getting rid of this. So I am working on my process of breaking up with sugar. I don't know if it's going to last, if I can do it. I am doing the best I can, but today is day 3 and I'm still okay. So, it seems like today's not as hard as yesterday and the day before was harder. So, you know, I'm looking forward to taking care of my health. And I have not been able to address this stuff sooner because I wasn't able to. So I'm not judging anybody else who can't do the things that I wasn't able to do. So I am so grateful to everybody who's watching me. And thank you so much. Happy New Year. I am hoping that that a positive attitude and I can start being part of the solution instead of part of the problem. And thank you everyone for watching. Please stay safe, stay tuned, and I will see you all next week.